We are, guys. This is a beautiful Tartarian building here in Buffalo, New York. Main Street and Pearl Street. Look at this Tartarian building that they have turned into a church today. We're going to see if maybe we could get out and check this one out here. Hopefully I'll be able to get inside some of these places today to show you guys the inside. We'll see how the Catholics deal with it. Alright, Gospel for Christ. Well, no, let's just keep getting footage of this. This is crazy, guys. They're going to tell you this was built in 1800 with horses and donkeys. Alright, see you guys in a little bit. Capo for Christ here, and we are on the west side of Buffalo, New York. This is the Connecticut Street Armory. We're going to walk up and check it out. This place goes on for blocks, guys. Blocks and blocks and blocks. I'm zooming in so you can see, and I'm zooming out so you can also see. This is a castle. This is a Tartarian castle during the days of Jesus Christ when he reigned as king of the earth during the Millennial Reign. And we're going to go see if we can get inside this beautiful building. But first I want to introduce y'all to my daughter and her fiance, my son-in-law. This is Ariana.
Hi.
And Dylan.
Hello.
My son-in-law. And just so you know, it's me talking. This is Capo talking here. All right, so we're going to go see the armory here. And my daughter's got a registry open for her wedding, so show some love and send lots of gifts. All right? All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit when we're closer. Like, you have to come here to really appreciate this stuff. I lived here for 27 years, and all I appreciated was moving bricks. But these are some different kind of bricks that were put here by the Messiah. All right, come check it out. We'll see you in a bit. All right, so we're still at the armory, and look at the scope of this place. This is it from there, and it goes all the way down there. This place is huge. And I hope this is good footage that I'm getting, guys. We're going to cross the street here and hopefully not get hit. That's all right. They got lots of accident attorneys here in New York. Just lay down and say, ow! I'm joking. I'll probably have to take the audio out of this. Like, what kind of man of God is that? All right, guys. So what they say, in commemoration of 2022...
202nd, I think.
202nd Regiment, New York. Volunteer infantry recruited in Buffalo. Blah 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 blah. Lot of BS. But you tell me who built this? Modern day, a couple hundred years ago, without stone. I mean, without hammer. I mean, with hammer and chisel, without power tools. This place, you guys can look it up online and check out the armory, but you're not going to get the scope of what this really is. This place is huge, guys. Absolutely huge. This is a castle. This is an old world castle, guys. I see they got cameras implemented. And look at the mud flood windows. This is the ground floor. See if you can see. See, those are mud flooded windows here. And I would say it's about 3 feet off the ground. 4 feet maybe off the ground, those mud flooded windows. So who knows how many stories this actually goes down. So now we're walking towards one of the entrances. This is the Connecticut Street entrance towards the corner of Niagara Street in Connecticut. And they have a National Guard recruiting station here. But I'm going to just stand on the sidewalk, to the edge of the sidewalk, to get the vastness of this building. Look at this. I'm zooming in here. Let's take a shot down. Look at how magnificent. I won't get you.
I don't want to get the picture.
No, I won't. You're good. Thank you. Look at the magnificence of this building. This is a castle. This is a castle on the west side of Buffalo. Look at this. This is the short side of it. So from here all the way to that corner there is the short side. So on a rectangle, this would be the short side of it. Here's the center pillar with, I guess, what they would call murder holes, those little slots. That's what medieval architecture would tell you. And the ground floor is about 4 feet off the ground. So there's the mud flooders there. There's Ari and Dylan again, the happy couple. Like, this is insane, guys. I'm going to go to the other corner, which is going to be Niagara Street. I'll just let it roll. So I'm walking towards Niagara Street. This thing goes on for city blocks. Blocks and blocks and blocks. Talk about growing up in a castle. Man, this is legit a castle. And look at what the world does today. They got those bootleg air conditioners sticking out the windows. But this is absolutely amazing. I couldn't wait to get this. I've been meaning to come here, guys, to get this to you, but it took me some time to get back to New York. And I figured while I'm up here visiting with my daughter, I gotta get you guys some footage of these Tartarian buildings. Now here, they got some sign to Ben Franklin. So they always like to, oh, Robert Franklin, Frankie Franklin. No, that's not the same Ben Franklin. All right, so we're at the corner here of Connecticut and Niagara. A lot of loudness going on. All right, so the corner of Connecticut and Niagara now. And I'm going to just pan the camera down from this angle here. Look at how far this goes down. So the first shot that I showed you guys was a completely different square vicinity of this place, a different square block. This is Niagara Street and Connecticut side of the Armory. Okay? So we're going to just keep walking down. Like, this just goes on absolutely forever. And people need to know, man. Like, this is just right in the center of the West Side. And the military is using it for an armory. See? We're literally just walking the perimeter of this beautiful, beautiful castle in the center of the west side of Buffalo, New York. Buffalo is a very ancient city. New York is, the East Coast is. And I advise you guys, wherever you are, check out the architecture in your town. Because there are definitely Millennial Reign buildings here. For basically the 27 years I spent in Buffalo, I didn't know about this stuff because I was a heathen. But this is unbelievable. You could feel the energy of this place, even though it's been tampered with and manipulated. It's almost like being on holy ground. When the Lord said to various men of God in the past to take their shoes off because you were on holy ground. You could feel that resonating here. So we're still walking down, guys. This is one side, the long side of this beautiful castle turned into an armory. We're about to walk up to another staircase here that they've put in the modern day. I apologize ahead of time if the footage is kind of shaky or whatever. Not only am I walking, I can't see because the sun is out and the camera is not the best in the sun. Any camera would be. So I want to save some space because we got other buildings to check out today, but this is just one angle of it, one city block of it, and we'll be back on to show the other face. Ciao. Looky what we got here. We turn the corner and they got some scaffolding up, like they're fixing this place up, renovating it or whatever. But this is what the founders used to do when they used to find these kinds of places. They used to say, yeah, we built it and we're going to take pictures of it. But when they took pictures, the pictures just look like this. on a building that was already done, and what they were doing was just painting it. Now there's active guys on construction here working. I don't want to get them in the shot, respect people's privacy and whatnot, but look at this. They're renovating a masterpiece. I wonder what they're really doing. So here we are at the other corner of the building. We walked past the scaffolding, and we are hitting every corner of this spot. And as you guys can see, it goes on for blocks and blocks and blocks. We did see a lady walk in. This place is supposed to be closed now, so I'm going to see if we can actually step inside and maybe get some footage of the interior of this magnificent Tartarian Millennial Reign building, built by the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. This is the inside, guys. Okay. So right here, this is inside. This is a Humvee and a gym. They've turned into a gymnasium. I'm going to get out of here before I get approached, though. But yeah, this is it. Okay, guys, we are now at the Hotel Richardson. It used to be, what was it before, Ari?
Hotel Henry.
Hotel Henry. Okay, look at this place. This is another Tartarian masterpiece. Now, the history of this place is pretty interesting. Nowadays, here's the other half of it over there. This half is abandoned, and it used to be and they turned it into an insane asylum. This half, however, is a hotel now, and it's a pretty nice hotel. But when I learned that it used to be an insane asylum, because that's what they did with a lot of the Millennial Reign people that were left over. They used to put them in insane asylums because they had a memory of life before Satan was loosed and went into all the Freemasons, all the people that had been answering Satan's call, and the Shriners and Odd Fellows and all of them freaks. They would put them in places like this, and now it's a hotel. But only half of it. You see the sign there? I'm going to zoom in on it as I walk up. Let's see. Apologies, guys, for the shaky footage. It's bright out, so I can't really see. Again, same day that I'm filming the other stuff. Everything that's on this video has been filmed in the same day. So yeah, this is the Hotel Richardson, a masterpiece from the Millennial Reign. And when it ended, and the Freemasons, the old pictures you see of Freemasons in these populated cities or built out cities, but there's no population, these were Satan's children that answered the call and got into this stuff and locked up people that were either children of the Millennial Reign or were part of it themselves. And for whatever reason, they didn't receive glorified bodies, but they were part of the society. They locked them up in places, not just places like this, literally this place. The boarded up half, we're going to walk to that next. That's shut down. It's just, I mean, I'm at a loss for words at this, guys, because I haven't been up here in 6 years, and all this stuff escaped me when I lived up here. So this is like me seeing it for the first time now with the knowledge that I have now from the Lord, and this is just unbelievable. All right, guys, so we're going to go check out the rest of it. So this is the side to the Hotel Henry that is shut down today, and this is the half that was the insane asylum, where they used to lock people up from the Millennial Reign and their children, because they knew what just happened to this world. They knew that the agents of Satan had come on the scene, changed history. They were rewriting everything. They were having EMP-like disasters and fires and world's fairs. Look at this stuff, guys. Things like this are not going to be around forever, because this topic is getting more and more out there. I wish it was more out there from the stance of what it really is, but the whole Tartarian thing is out there now, guys. And this is the Hotel Henry, Buffalo, New York. This is, you see them busted out windows there? This is the Hotel Henry. This is the insane asylum where they locked up people from the Millennial Reign. This is crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy stuff. Well, on to the next place. Here we are, guys, still at the Hotel Henry. I just want to take a look here, see if you guys can see the brickwork here. Because these old bricks, they used old bricks in the Millennial Reign construction. And honestly, it looks like they're very weathered. I don't know what's going on. I mean, this building is condemned, so it's got some structural issues right now, but I would beg to argue that there are structural issues that were put on this place, because these places were built and constructed in such a way that they'll last for the next 10 millenniums. This is just unreal, guys. Look at this. Dylan, was there anything good over there when you went walking?
The door is locked.
It's locked? Alright. We're walking.
There's a pigeon like just peeking out that window.
Ooh, there's a familiar spirit keeping an eye. Wow, guys, look at this. If you see the roof there, that angle, it looks like heat. When heat hits rocks, it burns them like that. I don't know what the heck happened here, guys. I can't see that, how it's like dark
At the top of that peak.
at the top, yeah, at the peak.
It's like char.
Yeah, there was definitely a fire
Even
there.
on this side, on the bottom, in the middle.
Oh, yeah, bro, look at that. Wow, look at this. This is something else, guys. Well, let's keep walking up to see as far as we can go. Probably shouldn't have worn some white Steve Maddens today. Probably should have had a different choice in shoes, but that's all right. Wow. It looks like a light's on in there. You see that?
Yeah, that's why I tried to open the door.
Wow.
There's another light up there.
There's another light up there.
Well, for a condemned building, they got electricity. Either that or the energy that's associated with this place is still having its way. I love how, look at how the foliage grows on the building. That is beautiful. Like that, this is like, we could be somewhere in England right now, or somewhere in Europe, in Scotland, or you name it, because this architecture is all over the world. And to be up close to one of these buildings is phenomenal. Wow. There's a hummingbird, it looks like. That's not a hummingbird, that's another kind of bird. Wow. This place is really, really something. All right, on to the next one for real. Okay, guys, you see that bird right there? Sitting up there? Right there? See him? All right, that. Dylan, can you say what you just told me?
That pigeon or bird has not moved since we came over here.
Okay, so guys, in witchcraft, people use birds, they use animals, they use what they can, and they're called familiar spirits. They inhabit these things, and I bet you that is a familiar spirit right there. I don't want to just be rebuking birds for no reason, but that ain't no bird. That is a familiar spirit, guys. All right, we're still here, guys, at the Hotel Henry because this place literally just keeps going on and on and on forever. So this is still the dilapidated section of it. This is where we just were. We were over there. And now we're continuing our stroll. And the building just continues to go on and on and on and on. Who builds like this? Nobody builds like this. This is one continued place. And they've used a fraction of it way over there to make a hotel today, when the rest of it goes on unused. So in the modern day, I want to just propose this. In 2025, with population out of control, or so many more people and all this and that, why is there no use for a place like this? There's no use for a place like this. But in the past, when we were much more sparsely, almost tripped there, when we were much more sparsely populated, places like this existed. It does not fit our timeline, guys. There's other reasons for these buildings, and they're lost to history. We have to ask the Holy Spirit and rely on the wisdom of God to show us what the purpose of these places actually were and what they are. Because you could certainly feel the energy in these places. But yeah, I just wanted to show this place. Look, it just continues to go on and on and on and on. Something else. I know I keep saying we're leaving this place, and we are, but the mainstream situation tells us that this place, the Hotel Henry, was an insane asylum that was built in 1871 to 1880. So in the span of 9 years, without any modern power tool, horse and buggy, they quarried these materials in East Bumble, wherever, and brought them here on horse and carriage and built this place in the span of 9 years. They wouldn't be able to build those, see those two spires? They wouldn't be able to build one of those today in 9 years, because we've lost the know-how to build this stuff. But look at that ridiculous line, 9 years for this place. This is another multi-city block structure that just goes on and on and on and on. And they went to house the people of the Millennial Reign here that knew the truth, and they called them crazy. They gave them lobotomies. They took their brains out. Sick bastards. Alright, that's it for real this time. 9 years. Yeah, right. Buffalo is so full of these buildings, guys, that literally we're on our way to the next site and we're driving by. This is ECC College, Community College, city campus. And this college, I didn't even realize, I mean, I knew about this college, but I didn't realize that it was actually a Tartarian building. Look at this, ECC City Campus, as we're going to our next spot. This is crazy, guys. This place is everywhere. This is St. Gregory's Cathedral on Church Street, downtown Buffalo. And this is another one here. This has been turned into a Catholic church. Another Tartarian building from the old world. Look, even across the street. Look at this. They're all over. We're literally downtown Buffalo. And look, even right there, there's another one too. I don't even know what that place is. That one wasn't on our tour of Millennial Reign buildings, but that certainly is another one. This one here as well. But let's get out. We found a spot to park. Good drive, Ari. And we're going to go check out that cathedral. All right, I misspoke before. It's not St. Gregory's. It's St. Paul's Cathedral, Episcopal Church. So it's Diet Catholic Church. And this is just, look at this. They got the cymatics there, but it looks like they didn't really put like an ornate design or anything in these cymatics. So, don't know what to say about that, but look at that spire, guys. And I guarantee you this footage is not doing its justice on the magnificence of this spire right here on this cathedral. But yeah, all this stuff was repurposed. my Italian is coming out. It's a repurpose. So look at this. We got, I want to just stop talking, guys, and just, take in these sights. I pray that it's coming through in as magnificent as it actually is. Go ahead, bro. This is absolutely beautiful architecture. This is not from this this time period, guys. Like, look at this. This is, they don't make them like this no more. They sure don't. St. Paul's Church. Look, 1967, Park Service, Department of the Interior. This site possesses national significance in commemorating the history of the United States. So they put some type of story up there like that, giving it a cover story to mask its true intent and purposes. I'm going to just stand under this spire here and just take a shot down, because nothing that they tell us in the mainstream makes any sense about this here. And see, they'll have, they don't even put the drainage right on these buildings. They don't even put the drainage right. But this is just an absolute masterpiece of engineering from the Millennial Reign. Look at these beautiful doors, more cymatics. I mean, I hope you guys really appreciate this. If you ever get the opportunity to come to the city of Buffalo, you got to do some sightseeing and take in all these places, because I can literally pan the camera over there and I don't even know what that is over there. That's a courthouse. I think they actually have, no, that's a library. See, they repurpose everything. That building over there is a library. I remember because that's the downtown library of Buffalo. See, we're at the corner of Pearl Street right there. And all of these buildings, really, they're of the old world. All of these. This is all old world architecture. The modern day did not build this. This is the Prudential building that I'm getting a footage of over here. But I want to walk around here. We're still at the cathedral, St. Paul's. We're walking around it here. And I just want to make sure we get all the footage of this beautiful Tartarian building. This here, this spire, man, this is something, I mean, you don't see this kind of thing every day, because it took a certain craftsmanship to be able to do that. Can you imagine trying to replace or fix one of them bricks up there? Having it hang upside down at like beyond a 90-degree angle? That's crazy. Anybody in the roofing business, let me know what you would do to have to fix that roof. My goodness. And put some of the colonies flags there, you know. But yeah, this is St. Paul's Cathedral. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see here too, they got the mud flooded doors. And that stuff there going down. Because as you can see here, this is just another way how they just keep building up. This building goes down 20, 30 stories, I would venture to say, with confidence that that's how far this goes down. And this walkway, they just put this walkway here to the street. Don't want to get anybody's tags on their cars. But yeah, this is the cathedral. Let's take a look at the staircase. I bet you the staircase is absolutely, if they left it alone. Let's see. Well, the stairs are kind of scacciati, as we say in Italian. It's not nothing fancy about that. That's modern masonry work on those steps. But that door, man, look at this door. Look at this stuff. Look at this. It's absolutely phenomenal. You got to have the modern day ugly cameras there watching everybody. But yeah, this is beautiful stuff, guys. Millennial Reign of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Copper for Christ out. We'll see you on the next location. All right, so we're back. We're still at the St. Paul's Cathedral. And my son-in-law Dylan, he's doing the research on these places. So the mainstream is saying this place was built in 2 years. Yeah, that was built in 2 years. From 18 what, Dylan?
1849 to
1849
51.
to 1851. 2 years they built this, right? If you believe that, I have a bridge in Brooklyn I could sell you. Okay. Courthouse. Tartaria. Everywhere. Buffalo is full of Tartarian architecture. Everywhere. I don't think that ugly building is though right there. That's the family courthouse there. Okay guys, in front of us is downtown Buffalo City Hall. This is a Tartarian skyscraper. This ain't even just a regular Millennial Reign building. This is a Millennial Reign skyscraper. And they got their obelisk in the center. This is called Niagara Square right here where we're in traffic waiting our turn to go. So they got an Egyptian obelisk in another American city. And they've got that monstrosity of a building that they've turned into a city hall. We're going to circle around and we'll get back to it. But just look at the rest of the stuff that they got here. This is another building here. This is the federal building. This is where the federales are. My son-in-law is doing his jury duty things now. I shouldn't probably talk about that case it's still going on. But here we go. This is City Hall. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at the Roman Nephilim gods and everything they got there. Ain't that cute? Look at this. This place is ridiculous. Just like everything else we've seen today. Probably not be able to park anywhere here. We don't have to get out on this one. Let me crack the window though at least. Look at this. This place is unbelievable, guys. And again, with the mud flooded windows, ground story windows, this building goes on deep, goes on. And they got one of their modern day cameras there, the NSA listening. Yep, City Hall, Millennial Reign, we're on to you. Man, we could do this all day. Another one. Alright guys, Copper for Christ out. I think that's it for the Tartarian stuff unless some more comes our way by happenstance. Alright, ciao. Wow, this was Gramps' house, 97 Bain Street. My God. You know how much this house sold for? $5,000.
What?
Yep, when he died. $5 grand.
Really?
Yep, we can go. That school, there's the corner store where Nona used to go buy cigarettes for him when she was little.
At the
and
Ray
that's
Market?
right there at the Ray Market,
Wow.
yep. And that's School 45 right there.
Oh my God.
They totally got rid of, there used to be like a court here. They turned it into a driveway. School 45. Let's go back around Lenova's. I want to get footage of that real quick. Here we go, Lenova's. Lenova Pizza, West Side, West Side of Buffalo, Lenova's Pizzeria. There it is. Lenova.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Beautiful. So right there across the street, that black building, that's the building. Upstairs is
It's Sweet World.
Sweet World.
What does that mean?
That building is Sweet World.
That's the Boba spot? That's crazy. Look at that.
Yeah, cousin Mike owns it.
After the last reset, there began a massive push to reintroduce technology, culture, and even people to the world. World's fairs had these massive exhibits called live infant incubators. These exhibits were insanely popular, drawing millions of visitors. They even had nurses in uniforms acting like caretakers. The babies weren't premature. They were being artificially gestated. This wasn't just a medical breakthrough. This was unfathomably advanced technology. Artificial wombs, mass baby production. Sounds a whole lot like a new world being repopulated after something big went down.
People are dead, and the civil wars, Russia in particular. You've got a lot of women, a lot of widows with children. Losing your husband in battle was one of the reasons you could be sectioned. The children become property of the state and they start shipping them around, but they need more. They've got to rebuild an infrastructure. These children are going to work on farms, they're going to mine, and then we're going to see the Industrial Revolution. So they're going to be working in factories and sweatshops. So how they go about that, it is alleged, is that they cloned a mass cloning exercise called the Cabbage Patch Babies. And this was spearheaded following a series of short films that were made by someone called Alice Guy Blache, a French pioneer filmmaker who brought out a film called The Cabbage Patch Fairy and then The Midwife to the Upper Classes. And this depicted, a black and white movie, this depicted couples going and actually purchasing babies from cabbage patches, demonstrating that they were grown, and following old Slavic folklore that babies come from cabbages and you find them in the bottom of the garden. And so in plain sight, they're showing you a mass repopulation program. They were then sent through baby farms and through the orphan train movement and distributed all over the world. Some were sent to Australia from the UK. We're told that it was convicts that were sent. It wasn't. The cages are too small. The cages were child size, like puppy crates. So they distributed children throughout the world, and then all of a sudden they were put on display and classed as premature babies in all of the world's fairs and expositions throughout the world as well, and you could buy them. And one of the particular adverts that Dr. Martin Cooney, who started the incubator babies, was that we can grow a 9-month-old baby in 1 week. So they had some serious technology going there, and you could buy them. So children were being taken from their parents, redistributed throughout the world. This was also happening to indigenous children as well. Children were being brought over from Africa. Children were being taken from Native American tribes and families. And these weren't primitive by any stretch of the imagination. They were far more advanced than anybody realizes. So they repopulated. So the mass cloning exercise was called the Cabbage Patch Babies. And a series of postcards came out to promote that. They're also known as repopulation postcards. And that happened late 1800s, early 1900s. So there you go, it's a bit of a...
Wow, it's incredible. So, taking all these indigenous populations of children and then moving them around into different areas, different countries, just completely reseeding the planet, the new reset.
Yeah, in America alone, the orphan train movement, and this is what they state, so you can double this normally, but the official figure is 250 children were taken from orphanages in the streets of New York and distributed across the Midwest of America to work on farms and in mines. So you can double that to 500,000. We were then sending children from Russia, which was really the most heavily populated part of Tartaria, of the empire. Children from Russia were being sent all over the place. Ukraine, which was Crimea, all of the children from there were taken. So they'd go in, have a war, take the children, redistribute them, force them to speak English, change their surname, and give them a new historical narrative. This is what happened, this is where you're from, and you're imagining that. And if you didn't comply, you went to a re-education centre, which was otherwise known as an asylum, and they had a lot of child asylyms as well. So you've got to think, all of these world fairs, the asylyms, the prisons and the orphanages all pop up at the same time, along with the Lunacy Act, just after all of the civil wars and the atrocities that occurred, and this all happened after 1776.
I never posted
Brainwashing and whitewashing exercise, and they have literally whitewashed history, made out that white people are superior, and that the white people were the true forefathers of America, and the people that had the capability and the intelligence to build these incredible structures. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. It's the other way around, entirely the other way around.
Known as Lucifer, who bears the forbidden fruit, is being worshipped all around us, then it'll open your mind to the fact that we've been lied to our entire lives, and we're just now starting to figure it out. But why would they want to lie? Why would the people in charge, the controllers in charge of this earth, this flat realm we live in, want to hide beautiful cities like this, and the fact that we had better technology and we lived much different lives not too long ago? Well, I'm starting to fully believe it's because the Millennial Kingdom, the Millennial Reign of 1,000 years of peace and righteousness already happened. And if you're not much of a Bible person, don't worry. I wasn't either until I really started to research the false history. And if you look at things with an open mind at all, it'll take the blinders off. And it's funny, if they wanted to hide this, they wanted to hide this 1,000-year beautiful reign of Jesus Christ's kingdom, what would they do? They like to pervert everything of God. Well, have you ever heard of a thing called the Dark Ages? There just happened to be a period of 900 to 1,000 years where humans didn't advance and things were just terrible and depressing? Or could that be a story? Could that be a story covering up something wonderful and beautiful? Because to me, some of the architecture, some of the beautiful buildings that they say were created by chisel and slaves and tools that couldn't even imagine could create things like this, they don't add up. And then you start thinking, if those 1,000 years actually happened and they're over, what happens at the end of them? Well, the angel comes down with the key to the abyss and lets Satan out to deceive the nations for a little period. Do you know what else there are 200 of? there just happened to be 200 of these asteroid craters all over the Earth. Kind of funny how it looks exactly like the picture depicted of Satan coming out from the Earth. Could it be that when these angels were released and these giant craters were formed, they created what's known as the mud flood? The mud flood that doesn't seem to be contained to just one nation, but all over the world? All over the world, just like those giant asteroid craters are found all over the world? So again, maybe we're living in a time period where the Millennial Reign already happened. But if we knew that, if we knew that this already happened, then we wouldn't be able to be deceived, right? They wouldn't be able to deceive us. They wouldn't be able to lie to us about where we are, who we are, and when we are, because we would know. So what do? They have to cover up the fact that there was ever a civilization here reigning for 1,000 years of peace. And they had to hide that from us and create a false history and a false narrative. A false narrative that we all came to buy because we all went to public education and bought into the stories of the Oregon Trail and Western travel. It's all nonsense. And for the people that they didn't want to give up the memory of that 1,000-year reign and Jesus Christ actually being here on earth, they created lunatic asylums. Because if you look at it, the number of patients back in that time period is astronomical. Over 150,000 patients in mental hospitals. And if they put those adults in mental institutions, well, what happened to their kids? Well, if there are 150,000 mental patients in the United States in 1904, it would seem about right that about 200,000 American children would become orphaned. And around that time period, boy, were there a lot of orphans. The timing adds up. And the reason for why there were so many orphans seems to make sense to me. And the evidence is there. All you have to do is look for it. Because it's right in plain sight. You just don't ever hear about it. So here's the bottom line. Are you willing to look past your indoctrination and your lifetime of beliefs and explore truth? And willing to have an open mind to the fact that maybe we're living past that 1,000 years and it's expired. And there's been some evil released on the world to deceive you. Because if God let it happen, then maybe he's testing you. Maybe he's testing to see if you will choose the light or you will choose the dark. It's up to you.